I can't believe you actually remembered my favorite coffee, I said, trying to hide how my chest tightened. You said last week, so I just thought it'd be nice, he replied with that effortless smile that always made my stomach do flips. I laughed softly, sipping the latte he'd handed me. You're impossible. Am I? He teased. Or just really good at making you happy? I rolled my eyes, but I couldn't stop smiling. Moments like these made everything else feel meaningless. I had never felt this understood, this safe. Later, at work, my phone buzzed. A message from Lena. Are you sure he's trustworthy? I don't want to scare you, but you seem too happy. I frowned at it. Too happy. Lena, come on. He's perfect for me. I typed quickly, defending the illusion I didn't want to question. Maybe, she had replied, but keep your eyes open. I shook my head, putting my phone down. Lena always worried too much. She couldn't see what I saw, how his hand fit perfectly in mine, how he remembered every little detail. That evening, we went for a walk by the river. He held my hand, and for a moment, I thought I could melt into this life forever. You know, he said, glancing at me with something that felt almost too sly, I've got a little surprise for you tomorrow. You'll love it. Oh. I arched an eyebrow. Is it another coffee stunt? He laughed. Maybe. Or maybe something bigger. I wanted to ask what, but I didn't. I wanted to be surprised, to believe in this fairy tale. The next morning, I went out to grab my usual breakfast. At the cafe, I ran into Martin, a colleague I barely knew. Hey, you're up early, he said, smirking. Sleep well? Yeah, I said, tucking my hair behind my ear. You couldn't sleep. Weird dreams, I guess. But hey, did you see the news? Looks like someone's switching projects at the office. I nodded absently. That's interesting. Martin tilted his head. You okay? You look distracted. I forced a laugh. Just tired. Nothing serious. He studied me for a second, then said lightly, sometimes people aren't who they seem to be, you know. I frowned, brushing it off. I think I know my people. After work, I met Lena at our usual spot. You looked worried this morning, she said, studying me. I'm fine, I insisted, but I couldn't hide the flutter in my stomach. Just work stuff. She didn't press further, but her eyes lingered on me. I felt guilty for even considering her warnings. That night, he called. Hey, you awake? Yeah. What's up? Just wanted to hear your voice. I miss you. I miss you too, I admitted, warmth filling my chest. There was a pause. Promise me something. Anything. Trust me. Everything I'm doing, it's for us. I swallowed hard, nodding even though he couldn't see me. I trust you. As I hung up, a shiver ran down my spine. Something about his tone, just a fraction too casual, made my heart beat faster. I shook it off. I had nothing to worry about. Love felt too real, too perfect, to doubt. I didn't know then that perfect illusions always hide cracks. And sometimes, the cracks appear when you least expect them. I wasn't supposed to see it. That's what I kept telling myself as my fingers trembled over his phone lying on the counter. A notification had popped up, her name. Elena. My stomach twisted, and I almost dropped it. Why is she texting you? I whispered, though he was just in the next room. I didn't mean to call out, but the sound of my own voice made the dread real. What are you talking about? He asked, stepping into the kitchen, that same charming smile on his face. I held the phone like a shield. This. Who's Elena? He froze, just for a moment. And then, he laughed. A short, awkward laugh. She's nothing. Just a friend. I shook my head, feeling a lump in my throat. A friend? Then why are the messages, like this? I slid the phone toward him, each word burning into me. She said you missed her, that you wanted to see her, that. It's not what it looks like, he interrupted quickly, his eyes darting away. Not what it looks like. I laughed bitterly. She's talking about wanting to be with you. I read the words. He ran a hand through his hair. I didn't mean for you to see that. I swear, it's complicated. Complicated? I asked, voice rising. We're supposed to be US, aren't we? Was it all just a lie? It's not a lie, he pleaded. I didn't mean for this to happen. I felt anger flare, sharp and raw. Didn't mean to happen. You hid this from me. You laughed in my face while texting her. He opened his mouth, closed it, then said quietly, I thought you'd understand. Understand? Understand what? That you'd throw everything we had away. My hands shook so badly I almost dropped the phone again. He started, but I cut him off. No. I can't even look at you right now. My chest ached as tears blurred my vision. I trusted you. I believed in us. I'm sorry, he said softly. I never wanted to hurt you. I was confused. I didn't know how to. Confused? I echoed, disbelief cracking my voice. Confused as falling asleep on the couch. Confused as not knowing what to cook. This is betrayal. He winced, like he could feel the truth of the word like a blade. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I shook my head, stepping back. I can't even hear you right now. I need space. Please, he said, reaching for my hand. I pulled it back. We can fix this. Fix this? I laughed, hollow and bitter. Fix this? How do you fix someone destroying your heart from the inside? I didn't wait for an answer. I grabbed my bag, my heart pounding so hard it hurt, and left the apartment. The hallway felt too long, my steps echoing my disbelief. At the street corner, I ran into Lena. Her eyes widened immediately. What happened? You look. I collapsed against the wall, trembling. He's been seeing someone else. Lena's hand went to her mouth. Oh my God. Are you okay? I shook my head. No, I'm not okay. I don't even know how I'll be okay. Come on, let's sit somewhere, she said, guiding me to a nearby bench. Talk to me. I stared at the ground, tears slipping down. I trusted him with everything. My heart, my life, and he just replaced me without hesitation. Lena's voice was soft, trembling. I'm so sorry. I tried to warn you. I didn't want to hear it, I whispered. I didn't want to doubt him. I loved him too much. He's wrong, she said firmly. You didn't do anything wrong. He made his choice. I closed my eyes, trying to steady my breathing. I feel so stupid. So betrayed. I don't even know who I am anymore. You are you, she said. And he is not worth this pain. Not even a fraction. I keep thinking maybe there's a reason. Maybe I didn't notice something, I admitted. Maybe I failed somehow. Lena grabbed my hands, shaking her head. Stop. It's not you. It's him. You didn't betray yourself, he did. And you'll get through this. I promise. I let out a shaky laugh, bitter but relieved to share it. I don't know how to even start. You start by surviving today, she said, pulling me into a hug. One step at a time. You're not alone. I leaned into her, letting the tears come freely for the first time. The betrayal was still raw, still cutting deep. But for the first time, I felt a flicker of something I hadn't felt in hours: control. Maybe not over him, but over myself. I whispered into the evening air, shaky but firm, I don't know how I'll forgive him, but I know I'll move on. Somehow, I'll survive this. And I did not look back. I couldn't sleep. My mind kept replaying his face, his smile, the way he'd looked away when I confronted him. I sat on the edge of my bed, hands shaking, phone in hand. "Hey, are you okay?" Lena's text blinked on the screen. I typed back, "Not really. Can we talk?" 10 minutes later, she was at my apartment, carrying her usual oversized coffee mug. "You look exhausted," she said softly, sitting beside me. "I am," I admitted. "I haven't slept. I keep thinking, what did I do wrong? Why didn't I see it coming?" Lena shook her head. "Stop blaming yourself. He made his choice, not you." I looked down at my hands. "I keep seeing our life together, all those little things I thought mattered. Were they all lies?" "Not lies," she said carefully. "But he chose someone else over you. That's his fault." Her words made me flinch. I don't even recognize myself anymore. I feel empty. "Hey," she said, taking my hand. "You're not empty. You're hurt, yes, but you'll heal. You just need time." I wanted to believe her, but the ache in my chest said otherwise. "Time doesn't fix everything," I muttered. "Sometimes, it just reminds you what you lost." "There's more than just what you lost," she countered. "There's what you can still gain." I stared at her, unsure. "Like what?" She smiled faintly. "Yourself. Strength. Freedom. I know it doesn't feel like it now, but you'll see. You just need guidance." I frowned. "Guidance?" "Yeah," she said, sipping her coffee. "There's someone I know, a mentor. She helps people rebuild themselves. Emotionally, mentally. I can introduce you." The word mentor made something stir inside me. Maybe I could learn to be strong again. Later that night, I called her. Her voice was calm, warm, like sunlight cutting through the darkness. "Hello," she said. I was referred by a friend." "Lena," I mumbled, unsure. "Ah, yes. Lena mentioned you. I hear you've been through a rough time." I swallowed hard. Yeah. I don't know what to do. I feel lost." "It's okay to feel lost," she said. "That's where most people start. Tell me, what do you want?" I paused, surprised by the question. "I want to not feel like this. I want to be me again, not broken." "That's a good place to begin," she said gently. "We'll work on finding you again. Step by step." Her words were simple, but somehow they offered a lifeline. The following day, I sat at my desk, staring blankly at my computer screen. My colleague, Martin, leaned over. "You're quiet today. Everything okay?" I shook my head. "I don't know. I just feel drained." He frowned. "Want to talk?" "I can't," I said. "It's personal." He nodded, respecting my space. "Just remember, you're stronger than you think. You'll get through this." I wanted to believe him, but doubts gnawed at me. That night, insomnia struck again. I walked to the balcony, the city lights blurred through my tears. Why did he do this to me? I whispered to the dark. A memory hit me, us laughing on the same balcony, him holding my hands, promising forever. My throat tightened. Was it all lies? I hugged my knees to my chest. "I trusted you. I gave you everything, why wasn't it enough? A soft knock interrupted my spiral. I opened the door to the mentor Lena had mentioned. She smiled gently. May I come in? I stepped aside silently. I don't even know where to start. Start anywhere, she said, settling into the chair. Tell me what you're feeling. I exhaled shakily. Betrayed. Angry. Lost. I feel weak and stupid. Good, she said calmly. Feeling it fully is the first step. You have to acknowledge it before you can change it. I don't know if I can, I admitted. I just want him back, and then I hate myself for it. That's normal, she said. You're human. But hating yourself won't fix him or you. You have to focus on yourself first. Her voice was soothing, yet firm. I realized I had been so consumed by anger and grief that I hadn't thought about rebuilding my life. Can I really do this? I asked quietly. You can, she said. I'll guide you. But it's your journey, not mine. You have to want it for yourself. I nodded, swallowing the lump in my throat. I think I want that. I don't know how yet, but maybe I do. She smiled. That's enough for now. One step at a time. I closed my eyes after she left, letting the silence wash over me. Pain still lingered, but for the first time in days, a small spark of hope flickered inside. Maybe I could survive this. Maybe I could rebuild. And for the first time, I wondered, not about him, but about me. I sat across from my mentor, the late afternoon sunlight spilling over the table. I don't know if I can do it, I admitted, stirring my tea without looking up. Do what? She asked, her voice calm but firm. Move on. Stop thinking about him. Stop wanting revenge. My voice cracked slightly. Every time I try, I feel like I'm betraying myself. She nodded. It's not betrayal. It's survival. Revenge only prolongs the pain. Self-growth gives you freedom. But how do I start? I asked, my fingers tightening around the cup. Small steps. Change routines, pick up the pieces of yourself you ignored, rediscover what makes you happy. I don't even remember what makes me happy without him, I muttered, frustration rising. It feels empty. Then you'll find it again, she said gently. You've been giving him control over your life. Take it back. Start with one thing you love, one thing that belongs only to you. I swallowed hard, nodding slowly. Maybe I could paint again. I used to draw all the time. Her smile was subtle but approving. Perfect. Start there. Don't wait for inspiration. Create it. Later, I called Lena. I've decided, I said, pacing the small living room. I'm going to focus on myself. No revenge, no waiting, no obsessing. You sound different, she said, voice warm. Stronger. Are you sure? I don't want to be consumed by anger anymore. I want to rebuild, even if it's hard. You're brave, she said. I'll help you however I can. Thanks, I said, a small smile breaking through. I think I need that right now. The next morning, I signed up for a painting class I had been postponing for years. I hesitated at first, standing in front of the blank canvas. But as I let the brush touch the paper, a strange calm washed over me. The colors weren't perfect, but they were mine. During lunch break, Martin noticed me sketching in my notebook. Wow, he said. You're really talented. I didn't know you drew. I didn't either, until now, I admitted, feeling a flicker of pride. It's helping me clear my head. He nodded. Good. Keep it up. It's amazing to see you smiling again. I felt warmth spread through me, though I quickly pushed down the bittersweet pang of remembering him. That evening, I passed by a familiar cafe. He was there, laughing with someone else. My chest tightened, but I didn't stop. I didn't speak. I just kept walking, feeling the sting but also a strange sense of distance I hadn't felt before. Back home, I called my mentor again. I saw him today, I admitted, voice low. He looked happy. Careless. Like I don't exist. Good, she said calmly. Let him be. His happiness isn't yours to control. Yours is to create. I frowned. It hurts, knowing he's moved on while I'm rebuilding. That's normal, she said. Bitterness will linger, but notice how you're still standing. That's strength. I feel a little lighter, I think, I whispered. Like maybe I can do this. Yes, she said. Your pain is valid, but don't let it define you. You are not what he took from you. You are what you reclaim for yourself. I stayed silent for a moment, letting her words sink in. The thought was new, almost foreign. That maybe my life didn't have to revolve around him or his betrayal. That maybe I could exist fully, just for me. Over the next few days, I started small changes. I rearranged my apartment, threw out things that reminded me of him, even put up a new painting I'd done. Each act felt like a tiny victory. Lena stopped by, raising an eyebrow at the new setup. Looks different. It feels different, I admitted. I'm trying to reclaim space I thought he took. She grinned. And it suits you. I'm proud of you. That night, I sat on my balcony, sketchbook on my lap. I won't lie, I whispered to myself. I still feel angry. I still feel hurt. But, maybe it doesn't have to control me. I dipped my brush in paint, drawing abstract swirls of color, letting my emotions flow without restraint. With each stroke, I felt something shift, a little more strength, a little more clarity. For the first time since the betrayal, I believed I had a choice. I could let this define me, or I could define myself. I choose me, I whispered, painting the words into the night. And I won't regret it. I saw him today, laughing like nothing had happened. My stomach twisted, but I didn't look away. Did you see the email from HR? Martin asked, leaning over my desk. I shook my head. No, what happened? They're not happy with him. Missed deadlines, sloppy reports. Looks like the promotion he bragged about might not happen. I felt a flicker of something I hadn't expected, satisfaction, tempered with a strange empathy. I guess life catches up eventually. Martin chuckled. Some people never learn until it hits them hard. Later, I ran into Elena, him and that other woman's ally, at a cafe near work. She smiled smugly. He's in trouble, you know. I raised an eyebrow. Is that so? Yes. Missed deadlines, angry clients. And he's trying to blame everyone else. Her grin widened. Funny how karma works. I swallowed, letting a small smile slip. I suppose it does. She tilted her head, curious. You're not happy he's suffering. I'm not glad, I said quickly. But I can't lie, it's a little satisfying to see consequences catching up. He made his choices. She nodded. Fair enough. I suppose that's the difference between us and him. We face our own challenges, but we don't hurt people for selfish reasons. I thought about that, letting her words sink in. For the first time, I felt a sense of control, a sense of authority over my own life. That evening, I was sketching in my notebook when Lena texted me. He's asking around if anyone can cover for him at work. Looks desperate. I laughed softly. Finally, I muttered. But then I stopped. Not gloating. Just, life has a way of balancing things out. The next morning, I saw him again, talking to some new colleague. His arrogance was still there, the careless smile I once adored. But something had shifted, hesitation in his eyes. I walked past, pretending to ignore him, but I caught snippets of conversation. "I can't believe she did this to me." "Relax, man. You'll figure it out. Don't blame yourself." "Easy for you to say. I worked hard for this, and now it's slipping." I walked faster, heart pounding. Not from fear, but from the strange rush of knowing I no longer needed to care. That night, my mentor called. "How are you feeling?" she asked. "Stronger," I said. "I'm noticing things, like how people's actions come back to them. He's struggling, and I'm moving forward." "That's good," she said. "Remember, it's not revenge you're witnessing. It's natural consequences. And you're witnessing it from a position of strength." I never realized how much power I gave him over my life, I admitted. "Now, I'm claiming it back." "Exactly," she said. "Your growth isn't about him. It's about you." I nodded, thinking about the small victories of the day. I finished a painting I'd started weeks ago, each stroke steady and deliberate. I felt pride. I felt clarity. A few days later, I met Martin for lunch. "You seem different," he said. "More sure of yourself." "I am," I said, smiling. "I'm learning to stand without leaning on him, without letting his choices define me." He grinned. "Finally. It's good to see you like this." I hesitated, then said, "Do you think karma really works?" Martin shrugged. "Sometimes. Other times, people just reveal who they really are. The universe doesn't need to intervene." I thought about that. Maybe it's not the universe. Maybe it's people's own choices. I just happen to see the results now. Later that night, I caught a text notification from an unknown number. "He's asking about you again." I stared at it for a moment, then deleted it. "Not my problem," I whispered. The following week, rumors at work reached me. He had argued with a client, made a mistake that cost him a deal. I didn't seek it, but the news filtered to me through mutual contacts. I called Lena. "He's messing up again," I said. She laughed softly. "He can't hide from reality forever." "I know," I said, leaning back in my chair. "And I'm not worried. Not for him, not for me. I've got my own life to focus on." She smiled. "Exactly. And look at you, you're thriving." I thought about my painting, my sketches, the small routines I'd reclaimed. My self-confidence had grown, subtle but steady. I no longer felt like a victim. I whispered to myself, looking at the night sky from my balcony, "I survived him. And now, I'm stronger. I control my life. Not him, not his mistakes, not his arrogance." A soft wind brushed my cheek. "I can't change what he does," I said aloud, "but I can change me. And I will." I felt it then, a shift inside me. Anger had cooled, replaced by clarity. I was no longer waiting for justice or revenge. I was living, step by step, reclaiming what was mine. And for the first time in months, I felt free. I saw him at the cafe where we used to meet every weekend. My heart thumped, but I didn't move. He spotted me almost immediately, hesitation flickering across his face. "Can we talk?" he asked, voice low. I looked at him carefully, noticing the subtle slump of his shoulders, the regret in his eyes. "About what?" I asked, keeping my tone steady. "About us. About what I did. I was wrong." I raised an eyebrow, a flicker of disbelief crossing my mind. "Wrong?" I echoed. "Wrong is, showing someone you love that you're capable of betrayal and lying for months." He flinched, and I felt a pang, but I didn't let it soften me. "I know. I see that now." "Please," he said, taking a hesitant step closer. "I didn't realize how much I hurt you." I miss you. Can we fix this? I shook my head slowly. Fix this? You think words erase months of deceit? I never meant to hurt you, he said, his voice cracking. I was selfish, yes. Selfish? I interrupted, leaning back. That's putting it lightly. You broke my trust, my life, my sense of security. Selfish doesn't even begin to cover it. He looked down, ashamed. I know. And I regret it every day. I remembered our photos, stacked carelessly in a drawer at home. I pictured them in my mind, the smiles frozen in time, and felt a quiet power rising inside me. Do you know how it feels, I asked softly, to watch someone you love choose another person without hesitation? He swallowed hard. I know. And I'm sorry. I wish I could undo it. I don't want apologies anymore, I said firmly. I don't want excuses. I want closure. And I want my life back. He looked up at me then, vulnerability exposed. I understand if you hate me. I would. I don't hate you, I admitted, surprising even myself. Not anymore. I feel stronger than that. I feel free. His eyes widened. Free? Yes, I said, holding his gaze. Free from the weight of your betrayal. Free from waiting for a sign that you change. Free from being a victim in your story. He took a step closer, hesitating. I can't lose you. Not like this. Please. I shook my head slowly, my voice steady. No. You had your chance. And you chose her. I'm not bitter, I'm stronger. I'm independent. I'm reclaiming what's mine. His face fell, and for a second, I felt a twinge of pity, maybe. But I didn't let it soften my resolve. I wish I could take back everything, he whispered. You can't, I said firmly. And that's your burden, not mine. He looked down at the ground, defeated. I thought, maybe you'd forgive me. Maybe we could start over. I laughed softly, bitter but calm. Start over? With you? After everything? No. I won't erase the past. I won't let you back into my life to test me again. He swallowed, silent for a moment, then asked quietly, do you hate me? I told you, I said. I don't. But I respect myself enough to know I can't trust you again. That's not hate, it's wisdom. He nodded slowly, understanding dawning in his eyes. You're different now. Stronger. Yes, I said, feeling the power in my words. I've grown. And you're still the same. Still careless. Still selfish. But I'm done waiting for you to change. I see that now, he said, voice quiet. I'm sorry. Truly. I held up my hand, stopping him. I accept that you're sorry. But I don't need you anymore. I don't need apologies. I don't need reconciliation. I need me. A memory flickered, our hands intertwined during a rainy night walk, our laughter echoing. I let it pass, acknowledging it without letting it bind me. Those memories belong to the past, I said softly. They don't define my future. He looked at me, almost pleading, but I kept my gaze firm. Go, I said finally. Live your life. Make your choices. I've already made mine. He hesitated, then nodded, stepping back. I understand. Goodbye. Goodbye, I said, voice steady. I watched him leave, feeling a strange mixture of relief and sadness, but mostly clarity. I turned away, noticing the cafe table where we had spent so many afternoons together. I smiled faintly to myself. The objects, the memories, they were just reminders of what I survived, not what I needed anymore. Outside, the wind carried a soft chill, brushing my cheek. I inhaled deeply, tasting freedom for the first time in months. My chest felt lighter. My heart felt lighter. I'm done, I whispered to myself. Done waiting. Done hoping. Done being anything but me. And for the first time since the betrayal, I truly believed it. I woke up to sunlight spilling through my window, feeling lighter than I had in months. For the first time, I didn't wake up thinking about him. I stretched, smiled to myself, and whispered, "Today is mine." Lena called just as I was leaving for my painting class. "Morning, superstar," she teased. I laughed, feeling the warmth bubble inside. "Morning. You know, I think I'm finally starting to feel normal again." "Normal?" she asked, mock surprised. "You sound alive. Thriving, even." "I guess I am," I said. "I've been doing things for me. Painting, reconnecting with old friends, even started volunteering at that local art program." "Look at you," she said, pride in her voice. "I knew you'd get here eventually." "I had a good teacher," I replied, smiling. "Mentor says it's about taking small steps." Today's small step. Actually selling one of my paintings. "You're selling it?" she gasped. "Yes," I said, adjusting my bag. "Someone at the gallery wanted it. Can you believe it?" "Wow," she said. "I can. You've always had talent. I'm proud of you." At the gallery, I stood beside my painting, chatting with a curious buyer. "I painted this when life was hard. But it became something new, something I wanted to share," I said. "That's beautiful," the buyer said. "You've captured so much emotion." I felt pride swell inside me. "Thank you. That means a lot." Later, over coffee, I ran into a colleague I hadn't known very well, Alex. He smiled warmly. "I saw your painting in the gallery. Incredible work." "Thanks," I said, brushing my hair back. "It's been therapeutic, actually." "I can imagine," he said. "You seem different. Happier. More at peace." I laughed softly. "I guess I am. I've stopped worrying about people who don't belong in my life." "That's powerful," he said, leaning back. "I like it." We talked about art, books, and life, and for the first time, I felt that spark of connection, not the obsessive, needy kind, but something light, respectful, and easy. It made me realize I could enjoy company without depending on someone for my happiness. Back home, my mentor called. "I hear you sold a painting," she said, her tone proud. "Yes," I said, settling onto the balcony with my sketchbook. "It feels like reclaiming myself." "That's exactly what it is," she said. "You're not defined by betrayal. You're defined by the life you build." I nodded, looking at the sunset. "It's strange. I feel alive again. And yet, he's still out there. I hear things, small whispers that he's struggling. But I don't care as much anymore." "Not really." "That's growth," she said. "You're observing without attachment. That's freedom." "I never thought I could feel this way," I admitted. "I always imagined that after betrayal, I'd stay broken or seeking revenge." "You chose differently," she said simply. Over the next few weeks, I immersed myself fully. I rearranged my apartment, creating spaces that reflected me. I hosted dinners with friends I'd lost touch with, laughed without restraint, and even tried new hobbies, yoga, cooking exotic meals, even writing short stories. Each act felt like reclaiming a piece of myself I'd thought was gone. One evening, Alex stopped by to borrow a book. We ended up talking for hours, discussing dreams, fears, and the weird little things that made us who we are. He didn't flirt, he didn't push boundaries, he simply listened. And in that, I realized something crucial: I could enjoy connection without losing myself. I like this, he said finally. Talking like this. Me too, I said, smiling. It's easy. Comfortable. Good, he said. We should do it again sometime. I'd like that, I said softly. And for the first time, I didn't feel guilt for enjoying someone's company after betrayal. I just felt, me. During a mentor session, she asked, "How do you feel now?" I thought for a moment. Stronger. I'm rebuilding my life piece by piece. I'm not perfect, but I'm free. And I don't need anyone to validate me anymore. That's incredible, she said. You've transformed. You're no longer a victim, you're the author of your story. I smiled, glancing around my apartment, the paintings, the books, the small garden I had started on the balcony. Each thing a symbol of recovery. It feels like rising from the ashes. I can finally see the life I want, not the one I lost. Evenings became my favorite part of the day. I would sit on the balcony, sketching, writing, or simply watching the city lights. Thoughts of him no longer made me shiver with pain, they were just faint echoes, reminders that I had survived. One night, I overheard from a mutual friend that he had been fired after a big mistake at work, compounded by careless decisions. I didn't gloat, but a quiet sense of justice settled inside me. Life had its own way of balancing things, and I didn't need to intervene. I whispered to the night sky, what would have happened if I'd stayed broken? I shook my head, smiling faintly. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I chose me. Alex called, laughing about some trivial mishap. I joined in, feeling light-hearted in a way I hadn't in years. I think, I said to myself later, this is what happiness feels like, not perfect, not without scars, but mine. Lena stopped by, giving me a teasing grin. You're glowing, seriously. It suits you. I feel it too, I said. Like I'm finally living for me. She nodded, pride in her eyes. I've watched you transform. I knew you would. I glanced around at my home, my life, my little world of reclaimed joy. I admitted. And this is only the beginning. For the first time in months, I felt whole. Not because he was gone, not because karma was evident, but because I had risen. Fully, deliberately, and unapologetically. And maybe, just maybe, the future could hold more than I imagined. I stood on the balcony, sunlight hitting my face, feeling the warmth settle into my skin. I didn't wake up thinking about him. Not anymore. Not even a flicker. Lena called as I sipped my coffee. Morning, warrior, she teased. I laughed softly. Morning. You know, I think I finally feel done. Done with the past. Done waiting for him to change. That's amazing, she said. I can hear it in your voice. You're lighter. Happier. I am, I said, tilting my head back to the sun. I've learned something important. My peace matters more than revenge, more than him, more than anything. You've come so far, she said, voice soft. I'm proud of you. Thanks, I said. Really. I couldn't have done it without you, my mentor, even Alex. You deserve it, she said. You chose to rise. Later that day, I met my mentor at the little cafe where we often talked. I've been thinking, I said, stirring my tea. About everything. About betrayal, about growth, about letting go. And, she asked, her eyes curious. And, I feel complete. Not perfect. Not unscarred. But strong. And I don't need him to validate that. That's the best part, she said with a small smile. You've found yourself. You've reclaimed your life. I nodded. I even decided to finally burn the letters, the photos, the reminders of us. It feels liberating. That's a big step, she said. Symbolic, but powerful. I smiled faintly. Yes. I've been holding on to pain for too long. It belonged to him, not me. On my way home, I stopped at the small stack of old letters. One by one, I lit them. The paper curled and blackened, smoke rising, carrying the weight of the past away. Lena texted, feeling lighter yet. I typed back, yes. Finally. That evening, Alex called. Hey, want to take a walk? Clear your head. I'd like that, I said, grabbing my coat. We walked through the park, talking about nothing and everything. I laughed freely, something I hadn't done in months. It's strange, I said. I feel like I'm finally living for me, not haunted by anyone else. That's beautiful, he said. You deserve that. We paused by the fountain. I watched the water glisten in the fading sun, thinking about how far I'd come. I was broken, I said softly. Shattered. I didn't know if I could ever trust again, even in myself. But now, I feel whole. Alex nodded. You've rebuilt yourself. That's inspiring. I hope I never forget this feeling, I admitted. The freedom, the control, the clarity. I don't want to go back to being naive, dependent, or waiting for someone else to change. You won't, he said. You've earned this. Back home, I opened my window, letting the cool night air sweep through my apartment. I thought about him, not angrily, not with longing, but neutrally, like a chapter closed. I had seen the whispers of his downfall, the consequences catching up to him. But I didn't dwell on it. I didn't need to. My mentor's words echoed in my mind, your growth isn't about him. It's about you. I smiled softly. Yes, I whispered. It's all about me. I looked around my apartment, the paintings, the books, the small plants I'd nurtured. Everything reflected me, my choices, my strength. I had reclaimed my space, my mind, my heart. The phone buzzed. Lena again. Feeling ready to start something new. I thought about Alex, about my art, about the life I was building. Yes, I typed back. I feel ready. That night, I sat on the balcony, sketchbook in lap, painting swirls of color that reflected the calm I felt. The world felt expansive, open, full of possibilities. I no longer waited for anyone's approval or forgiveness. I didn't need it. I whispered to the night sky, I've survived. I've grown. I've learned. And I have no regrets. The city lights twinkled below, a mirror of my own small triumphs. Each step I had taken, every choice to rise rather than collapse, had brought me here. I was empowered. I was free. Lena called one last time before bed. So, do you feel it? She asked. Yeah, I said, smiling. I feel peace. I feel strength. I feel, me. Good, she said, laughing softly. That's all I wanted for you. I hung up and leaned back, letting the quiet wash over me. The letters were gone. The memories remained, but I held them lightly, like feathers in my hands, acknowledged, accepted, but not burdensome. I whispered into the night, this is my life. My choices. My growth. And I won't regret a single moment of it. As I closed my eyes, I felt the last remnants of anger and hurt drift away. The past no longer had power over me. I had rebuilt myself from the ashes of betrayal, and now, I could finally soar. I woke up to the sound of birds outside my window, sunlight spilling across my room. I stretched and smiled. Months had passed, and for the first time, I felt truly settled in my own skin. Lena called just as I brewed my coffee. Morning, superstar, she teased, as usual. I laughed, holding the mug close. Morning. You know, I was thinking, life feels lighter now. I can actually breathe without thinking about him or the past. That's amazing, she said warmly. I've watched you rise. You're unstoppable. I feel unstoppable, I admitted. I've started a new project at work, my art is finally getting noticed, and, well, Alex and I have been spending time together. Nothing rushed, just enjoying it. Good for you, she said. You deserve every bit of happiness. I never thought I'd feel this calm, I said, sipping my coffee. Like I've finally reclaimed my life. Because you did, she said simply. You chose yourself. Later, at my art studio, I talked to Alex while we arranged my latest exhibition. I'm proud of you, he said. You've worked so hard, and it shows. Not just in your art, but in how you carry yourself. Thanks, I said, feeling warmth spread inside me. It hasn't been easy. But I've learned something important, trust yourself first. Everything else follows. He smiled. You're stronger than ever. I nodded, looking around at the vibrant canvases lining the walls. Each one told a story, my story. Pain, betrayal, growth, and now, joy. I felt independent, confident, and completely self-reliant. Later, at dinner with Lena, we laughed about old memories. I can't believe how far you've come, she said. Neither can I said, smiling. But I wouldn't trade any of it. Every heartbreak, every sleepless night, it led me here. To this life I chose. I looked out the window at the city lights twinkling below, feeling peace settle in my chest. I survived. I grew. I'm free. And this life, it's mine. All mine. Lena raised her glass. To you. To me, I said, clinking it lightly. And for the first time, I felt complete. Strong, whole, and ready for whatever came next, because I had learned to live for myself, without regret.